Hello everyone, Adam here, and welcome to another gameplay review video. This is the first video in a series I'm going to be doing called Minecraft Building Project, and the idea of it is to have a very large array of buildings for Minecraft, whether it be just to give people ideas, or whether people use it in level editor to copy and paste into their own worlds, or whatever really. We're going to be focusing on houses to start with, because essentially it's already finished. I'm going to add some city houses at some point, but I think this is enough for now. And I'm also quickly going to go over some of the features that you'll see in all of the plots. You'll see there's like a white wall border around groups of buildings, and it's just to kind of separate things out and make it a bit simpler. Turns them into like little templates, and the only thing you really need to keep in mind is these the dark grey wall. It's basically just showing that really it's going to be leading onto a road of some sort, so the white can blend into anything really, whereas these bits ideally you do want to have a road either going off that way, or if it's across it you really want to have a road going off that way. You can do whatever you want obviously, but that's just the way they're designed, just to make it easier. If you're going to build a straight road, you can just plot these off the sides or something like that. So, but aside from that, it's just they're all just straightforward buildings. We'll start with the more complicated builds, I think. This first one's is a tavern. I know I did say there would be houses, but in the medieval age you kind of lived where you worked quite often, so they all have living quarters in all of the buildings. And as a standard, I'm pretty sure they all have a crafting table somewhere, a furnace somewhere, a bed somewhere, all of the essentials, and all of the extra stuff really is pretty much just for show. Except I find if you have a building where, say, a weaponsmith lives, you'll tend to store your weapons there. And if you have a building where like a textiles person lives, you're going to end up saving lots for your wall there. So it really does help you when you're trying to remember where you're keeping lots of the items that you've gathered. If you've watched some of the earlier videos, you may notice that these buildings are pretty much just based on the houses series that we did originally, but there's just such a higher level of detail here. The main reason we've been able to make it so much better is all the new blocks that they've added, and also the orientations of blocks that have been added has made a huge difference to this. And the second building on this plot, I kind of just imagine a wise old wizard or something living here. Sure has a lot more books than everyone else. And I quite liked making this building because there was a cavity behind the staircase, and it just seemed just a perfect opportunity to fit in the classic hidden door behind the bookshelf, hidden treasure nonsense. So there we go. I didn't actually go into this building on the original series because lots of the buildings I'd left empty, but now every single one has been completely finished, so that I'm happy with it at least. And this building's probably a perfect place to demonstrate one of the things I really enjoyed about making this map is it's not just the blocks you can see, it's also the blocks you can't see. So for example, everything has a foundation, particularly the larger buildings. So wooden floors are normally based on large wooden logs, and bricks and tiles are sort of more concrete or rubbly. And I've come with a similar concept looking up. I wanted to make it look like all the floors were supported and constructed, just like they would be in real life. And one of the great things about that is I probably wouldn't have added beams across the ceiling for no real reason, but because I wanted to make it look realistic, I added them, and I think it's just made lots of the buildings just look a lot more realistic. Also, one of the other things I'd like to see is someone blow up this map with some TNT. I might even do it myself later, just to show that instead of it just blowing up a wall and then everything around it just being bare ground, it actually looks like you're dismantling a whole building, where there's wall cavities with little spider webs, and there's bits falling down here and there, and the foundations of the building being opened up as well. So it just adds just another dimension to it, which I don't really see very often, so I really wanted to have that. This is another one of the buildings which was just empty. There was nothing really on the inside. I just built the outside before, but again, everything's totally finished now. I wanted each of the buildings, particularly on the inside, to have its own little charm and character. None of them are similar to each other, and in sort of the Middle Ages, I wouldn't have imagined there was much standardisation. People just threw stuff together half the time, particularly just with what was available around them. Just kind of Minecraft in a nutshell, really. So this, well, I say they didn't have standardisation, but I started to use these items quite a lot. These ones actually I saw on other videos. I'm not sure who invented them originally, but they're geniuses, quite frankly. There's some really good features to use. And also I like the more complicated tables, but recently I'm sort of leaning more towards just the upturned stairs with the darker wood, just because it adds that different colour of contrast, so I don't think it needs to be that more complicated than that. So that there is a place for people to buy their furniture now. And this was the textiles before, but I have changed it, particularly upstairs. So I'm using the dreaded glowstone there, but really I do want to have more redstone circuits. I've changed the stairs around just because it felt a bit more kitcheny, with a little place there to hide books and crap, and the stairs a bit more central. This is the main thing I've changed about this building. Is I've made this room two stories, and it's an even larger warehouse now for wool and stuff. I think it just about works. It seems I wanted to have something a little bit bigger than just little higgledy-piggledy rooms everywhere. I think that's okay. I'm not quite sure if that's how they would have actually stored it in real life, but I think it looks quite effective in Minecraft. And before, even though it was a shop, it didn't really look like a shop, but adding the awning and a splash of colour it just makes it look a bit more like a shop to me. Now this building, again, this was empty, but I've changed this into an inn. I quite like this building. You imagine walking in and waiting for the bellboy and no one's there. You go to the bar and have a drink while you're waiting, and then you think, oh, sod it, I'm just going to go and have a look around, see if anyone's there. The rooms aren't anything too special on this. I do like the fact that you can squeeze quite a lot of information into a small space, and most of that room's still empty. They're all pretty much the same, going all the way up the building, except the guy who owns the building has a slightly nicer place to sleep. He's going to be doing a lot of sleeping there, I guess. This was just a house before. It's pretty much the same, but it's just been a little bit more updated. Cool. Wasn't really quite sure what to do with this house, so I just threw bits in and hoped it worked, to be honest. I really wanted to turn this into another shop, but it's supposed to be really concentrating on houses, so it's just a nice house for someone to live in, I guess. This was another empty one, which I turned into like a little alchemist shop or apothecary. It's kind of just expanded on the smaller shop I've got further down. It's another one of those features that just appeared because there was a strange space to put something. It's got a bit of a more modest bed. This map's all been placed block for block, so I think it makes sense that this has taken me about 3 weeks to do now. The more simpler houses now, which you may have seen in the preview for this. So all the fireplaces have been redone. I've tried not to make it so they're all repeated. Some of them I'm sure I've done over again, but particularly this shape, I quite like this style, but I've tried to make them all unique. And they're all included with their own chimneys. Every last fireplace has a chimney. But while we're going past this area, I'll take a quick detour to where I've added a couple of extra features. There's a small statue and a well. Everyone's got to drink water at some point, haven't they? And I like the fact that it's not really connected to any of the plots, so it's you can quite freely put it anywhere. It's kind of the idea of putting them in plots, so they kind of seem fluid and easily moved around. And plus, it was quite fun trying to fill in the little gaps that it created because I wanted to have all the plots rectangular. Like here, there's a shop here, but there was a tiny bit of room here, and it just didn't seem right just to fill it full of grass. And I figured, well, I have some friendly competition just outside right next door. Sell the same sort of stuff. Well, they'd probably just sell fruit here by the looks of things. Whereas inside there's a little shop. Yeah, I'll cut some corners now. I don't think I need to show everyone everything because the beauty of this is the fact that it's going to be uploaded, so you can download it and you can look around it yourself, can't you? Really, leave some little things for you guys to find. But essentially, that's it for the houses. I'll just finish off wandering around aimlessly as per usual. And I'm not really going to be planning ahead what I do next. I'm just going to start I've got a few little buildings here and there I'm doing. Whichever ones I finished first I'll upload next, but the sawmill's pretty much done, so I wouldn't be surprised if I've got another video up by the end of the day featuring that, but after that I'm not sure what I'll be doing. I've got quite a few ideas. One of them, I want to do like a modular castle town wall set. So have like a towers, have a section of wall, have a section of a stairway, gates, etc. and do them in a way so they can be connected in any direction, in any form. No, I don't think people should stick to rules and templates too much, but it's a good place to start. Particularly when someone else has made the templates, it's really good ways to get some good ideas. It's another part of the building which I like, because between that bit of wood and that bit of wood, that could be an empty space and no one would know about it, but I assure you it is another bit of wood going in the same direction, just because just want to make it all realistic. Again, like I said, if you're gonna blow this up at some point, you want to make it look like it's been built properly. So I've walked across the whole map now. My computer's gone a bit funny there, I don't know what that was. So, there we have it.